Alright, can you blink bolt toward me and then roll, and I'll try to like reaction roll catch. You roll afterward. It seems fine. I think it's fine. You can't roll. Okay, I think it's fine. I don't think there's an issue with that. Too much recovery? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it seems balanced. Alright, let's try reaction again. I mean, it's still broken, don't get me wrong, because you can't approach it. It's fine if it only punishes R2. It is not fine, dude. Like, blind spot is was the second most broken thing in the game after Swift Slash. It's still completely broken. Do you have a sleep crossbow, was just to see? Alright, let's try that. Okay, yeah. Basically, if you don't have like, if you're not wearing the best focus armor in the game, no, not right. If you're not wearing the best sleep armor in the game, you pretty much slept in one. Yeah. And that's like one of the heavy set too. Like, so the sleep crossbow is still broken, blind spot's still broken. I mean, just for the sake of it, let me just check like dry leaf. There you go. No, they didn't change the poise or anything. There you go. Reset his poise. That shit's so bad, man. Like, seriously. Fucking sad, dude. The poise with these fucking things. Let's try one-handed. Dude, the R2 does not stun one-handed. That's not okay. Look at that. 2 R1s don't even stun. So sad. They're gonna need to fix that. That's definitely something that they're going to need to address. Like the poise damage that's bugged, or that's like too low compared to everything else for the new weapons. For like light great sword. For like palm weapons. Because now they're pretty useless because of that. Does it do like 132 on the R2? Bro, that's useless. That is useless, man. That's legitimately useless. See how Kestis always stuns? Golem Fist doesn't always stun. Look at that. It's actually worthless. Okay, so Golem Fist useless, unfortunate. It also does less damage, by the way, than Kestis on the R2. It already had, like, wacky motion value. What a janky hitbox, though. Even on my screen, it looks fucked up. He definitely rolled there on this screen. It's definitely not fixed. For that Ash is so busted, like actually like broken. You can visually see the desync, like after he wakes up, like he ends up in a different place. This isn't an anti-lag weapon. This is a lagger weapon. You can see him like rolling. Like you can see the startup of him rolling. Still grabs him. So let's recap really quickly. First of all, we did not see any change that was not already mentioned in the patch notes. So like a stealth, something that was obvious. We didn't see anything. Things that are not fixed. Blind spot still broken. That sort of damnation still broken. The sleep crossbow still broken. So these things are still not addressed. And honestly, the sleep bow as well, I heard for like the one Scott covered not long ago. And the Rancor bow, those things are probably... Honestly, I think FromSoft should just like nerf the sleep arrows and sleep bolts like across the board. Honestly, like I think that's what they need to do, because all of them are pretty busted. Okay, so aside from that, what they did actually fix, they fixed the chicken wing like one-shot R2 bleed. However, you can still fully charge it and bleed in one if you fully charge it. So I don't think they over-nerfed it. So I would categorize this one as a good one. The perfume, they did fix Rolling Spark, but they made it like completely useless, as in like it basically does like no damage. So the Rolling Spark is like completely useless and way over nerfed. Like it does literally like no damage. The Smith Script Dagger, the range is not overdone. It's still like some decent range. So I think that one's good. The Smith Script scaling for weapon is good too as well. They didn't change any of the broken poise damage for like any of the new weapons. Like they still do like underpowered poise damage. They fixed the R2 recovery for the back-end blade. Like before you couldn't roll out like immediately after doing an R2. They fixed that. Swift Slash is still broken. They didn't like properly fix it. Like it's not as strong as it was, but it's not enough. Like what they did is they nerfed the damage and they removed the stun on the like the little wave part, right? So they removed the stun on that and they made it do less damage. But I think the problem still lies that like that R2 is just straight up way too fast and travels like way too far. So you can still like, they also reduced the stun, but as we suspected, all these things are not enough. So basically like they under nerfed Swift Slash as expected, because Swift Slash was so broken that they needed to touch on literally every aspect of it. And so it's still broken. So that's that. Sword of Damnation did not get touched. Trusting Shield, I think Trusting Shield are the best thing that came out of this patch. They're still good. However, they get hard countered by kicks. Like, the kick will guard break the Trusting Shields. Like, they don't take, like, no stamina damage when you're trading. They take around the same amount than when you're blocking. They fixed the offhand weapon bug as well, or, like, effect applying to the offhand weapon, like the Smith Script Shield. They fixed the combo, the Fire Knight Greatsword. The R1 doesn't combo. Fire Knight Greatsword has the same stun as the Godslayer. You can still somewhat combo it from a crouch, which is fine, honestly. No one ever complained about the Godslayer Greatsword, which was like that until the game was launched anyway. So I think they did a great job with Fire Knight Greatsword as well. It's in a good spot. I think that's pretty much like the most important stuff. Like there's a few other things that they touched, but like Smith Script damage, like carrion damage as well for that sword. The Torch Deadlight is fixed, but the Torch is like still very strong. Yeah, I think those are pretty much the most important things. So yeah, so far I would say definitely a good patch, an emergency patch that is. This wasn't a balanced patch. Like really, this was like an emergency patch to like fix the really obvious like problems that were like breaking PvP right now. At the current moment, I believe the #1 things to fix are still, #1 is still Swift Slash. Actually, I would put #1 as Blind Spot now. I think Blind Spot's probably the most broken thing now. Now that Swift Slash has been nerfed like a little bit, I think Swift Slash still needs to get nerfed again. So I'll put it like #2. So like most broken thing right now is probably Blind Spot and because there's another one. And is it Raging Beast? Yeah, and Raging Beast. Because Raging Beast is basically the same thing as Blind Spot. Like the stuff that has like iframe on frame 1 followed by a counterattack, that shit's broken. Like that shit just cannot be a thing in PvP. It just hard counters like everything. You can just do that against every move in the game. So yeah, those are the things that are going to need fixing next. Swift Slash again, and the Sleep Crossbow build-up, as well as the Ranker Bow build-up, whereas the Anspach Bow. Honestly, I think they should like nerf the Sleep Bolt and like the Sleep Arrows across the board, because that's always been like something that's kind of problematic. And so I think like a fix that touches on all of them would probably be a good way to approach it. Is Blink Bolt balanced? Yeah, I think Blink Bolt was balanced from our little testing we did. It didn't seem too strong. You could reaction roll catch it. Sleep Halberd is still broken. Yeah, Sleep Halberd's still broken. Guys, if you're thinking of anything broken right now that I didn't mention, like, feel free to mention it so that we don't forget about stuff. Because, like, when I'm live like that, I don't think about everything that I know is broken. Like, I always forget stuff. Like that shit. That shit has too much bleed build up. Also, that scatter shot should probably not like always headshot. I don't know. But that Claw of Night's still busted for sure. The Leda Sword probably would need, like... Is that removing buffs on Ghost Hit for something like that should not be a thing. That's also something that would need to be addressed for sure. And then Great Sword of Damnation, that shit's just stupid. Like, that shit's ugly. It's fucking ugly. Like, it needs to... Like, that Ash of War needs, like, a proper fix. And then they also need to fix the poise damage on the new weapons. Because they, like, they're so underpowered poise damage-wise. Like, the new weapons are the only weapon in the game that don't have, like, a stun on the standing R2, for instance. Like, every weapon in the vanilla game, even in this current patch, has a guaranteed stun at max poise on an R2. Even a dagger. Like, even the one-handed dagger always stuns on a standing R2. But the new weapons don't. Like, it doesn't stun on an R2 with, like, all the new weapons. Like, they're underpowered poise damage-wise. So that's something that definitely needs fixing, like giving some love. That's a buff though. Like that's one of the few things that need a buff. It's like all the new weapons, the Dane footwork, like the Dry Leaf, the Light Greatsword. All these things need a poise damage buff. Iframe on backstep still overtuned. That one I actually don't know. They gave up. I think they understood. That's a good point that you mentioned. If that Torn spell bleeds in one, and that Chicken Wing bled in one, and that they fixed the Chicken Wing bleeding in one, where it's much harder to land than that spell, I think that spell should not bleed in one either. Whereas you have something that's super hard to land that doesn't bleed in one hit anymore. Also, the spell that let you disappear, I didn't really get to test that. Alright. I think it loses my lock-on. Can you try doing it into roll? Bro, this is... Okay, yeah, this is broken. You can't actually catch it. It's actually broken. That shit's busted. I mean, the lock-on is fine. Like, losing the lock-on, I don't care. But, like, if you're seeing, like, we can't... Like, he cancels into a roll faster than he can get reaction roll cut. So it just breaks the game, like, fundamentally. Like, you see that? Look at that, like... It's basically like infinite iframes. And he's doing it like in front of me. Keep in mind, like he could be doing that like going away from me. It would be impossible to catch. And he would be able to cast like Gavel of Haima from there too. Look at that, like it's basically infinite iframe. Alright, that shit is completely broken. Actually, like, that's probably, like, on par with BHS at launch. Like, that shit is so fucking busted. It makes you immortal, actually. Like, you cannot get caught. Like, even if I time, like, perfectly, there is no moment. He can basically guaranteed get a roll out of it after he does it. It's not spamming it. It's like, you do it, and then you roll. That shit is so broken. I did not know that was that broken because I didn't get to play against it. This is so broken, actually. Holy shit. If you spam it, it doesn't give the same amount of iframe. Oh, I think he was out of it, actually. But if you spam it, I don't think it gives the same amount of iframe as just doing it into roll. Yeah. So, like, basically what's not okay is you can do that into rolling with 0 recovery, which makes you, like, quite immortal, really. Like, the reason why people are saying it's not broken is probably because they spam it, as opposed to doing it once and then rolling, doing it once and then rolling, doing it once and then rolling. That's what's, like, that's what's causing that into BHS. Can you do that? Moaz, grab BHS real quick. Like, people saying that the startup is, like, You can get caught during the startup. There's basically no moment throughout this entire thing where you're not safe. Maybe if I do it with dagger, I'll be fast enough. I am not. There is no moment in the startup where you can get caught like on reaction like that. Yeah, okay. Right there, I had like plenty of time to prepare. You can't reaction catch, or you can't like roll catch it, because the moment he does it, he has it like infinite iframe into a roll, so you cannot catch it after he does it, and you cannot catch it before he does it. Oh, well, that shit is completely broken. It's basically infinite iframes. GG. And not only that, but but you lose lock on top of that, and he can go like super far. All right, take care, Muaz. Thanks for helping me out with the testing. Take care, man. Wow, just wow. That's just completely broken. And you can aim anywhere. Yeah, and like right now we're in like this testing environment. We were doing it where Muaz was like right in front of us. Like he could go and teleport like stupidly far and would be even more impossible to catch him. So that shit is just completely broken. It's basically BHS at launch. I mean, no one is talking about it right now, because no one actually took the time to test it, it seems. The thing that's like worse for the game is people that defend the broken ass shit, which really like hurt the game like really badly. And like we're at the last fucking rush where the support is going to end soon, and we really need to fix all that garbage. So we cannot have like anyone defend that shit. Like we really can't. We can't afford that. But yeah, for real though, we have to clean all of this, because we only have like a, I don't know how long we have left, but the support is not going to be indefinite here. So it's important that we fix all this broken stuff while we have the chance. Do we have anyone to test real quick the infinite iframe for backstep? Because actually I do have it.